Tony, you look pretty good out there tonight against Pancho Gonzalez. Of course, this is your first year as a professional. You've played an awful lot of tournaments, Tony. What, in your estimation, is your biggest thrill?
Well, Ed, I guess winning the Davis Cup in 1954 was my biggest thrill. Although the first time I won our national championship at Forest Hills in 1953 was a big thrill to me because it was the first really big championship I had won. I had won a couple of the national titles on clay and the hard courts, but this was really the first real big one for me, so that was a big thrill.
Well, if you have a big thrill, you also must have a big disappointment, and what would that be?
Well, I've had a lot of disappointments in my tennis career. I've been beaten a lot of times when I felt I should have won or when I certainly would like to have won. I guess I would have to rank my match with Lou Hode in 1953 in the Davis Cup as my biggest disappointment. We were leading 2-1, and we played on a very bad, rainy, cold day in Melbourne, Australia. And I was playing knowing that if I won, we could regain the Davis Cup. And I lost the first 2 sets, won the next 2, and got down to 5-all in the 5th set before I finally lost 7-5. And that, I think, was probably my biggest disappointment.
Well, the Aussies have taken the Davis Cup back to Australia once again. What do you think our chances are of getting it back? How soon?
Well, to be honest, I don't think our chances are too good this year. I do feel, though, that it won't be as long as most Americans and possibly a lot of Australians think it will be before we do come up with the players to regain the Davis Cup. Fellows like Sam Giammalva and Earl Baumgartner, and well, there are all sorts of young players who are playing well, and with a little experience, they can rise right to the top and do the job.
Well, Tony, how's the tour been going so far?
Well, we've been doing fairly well. And actually, I'm not very happy with the results of the singles, but I'm doing all I can to try to close the gap. He's a tough man, you know. He serves very well, and he moves extremely well. And, of course, he has the edge on the experience on me under these conditions, this type of touring. I found that the traveling plus playing a good player every night are the 2 most difficult things on the tour.